Hey, good day. How's everybody? It's April Fool's Day today. Although I'll probably put this up later because I haven't worked out how to pre-record shit. So you just get it as I go. Yeah, it's a Wednesday, and it's another first of a month, and I forgot to say rabbits first. Well, I said shout out CHA instead, which is because my cat was just screaming and screaming and screaming because she wanted to be fed. My alarm goes off, and she knows I'm awake, or I'm going to be awake, and she just decides to howl through the house for breakfast, which is always a delight. So there you go. What are you gonna do? Oh, I'm in a good mood this morning. I was checking my emails, and I had one from Odin's Eye saying that they have a mystery box launching. Well, theirs launched on the 31st, which was yesterday for me, which means today for them. And I was like, oh, all right, well, I'll go look at it and see what it's all about. And it's actually a really good deal. What's it? I think they're using US dollars for all that they're a European company. I don't know. It's like $150 worth of products for $65 in whatever currency they're making their advertising in. I thought that's pretty good. So what's in it? And it was a full eye, and they're all full-size products. So I think looking over at the advert, it's a full eyeshadow palette, a highlighter, a blush, 3 lip products, and then 6 singles in a mixture of matte shimmers and 1 rare multi-chrome. So I thought, well, that's pretty good. Let's go see what the exchange rate is, tippy tappy. And for me, it came to just over $96 and a few cents. And shipping was free. Thank you, Odin's Eye, for thinking of us down here in Australia and New Zealand who don't want to pay half the price of the products just in shipping. So the shipping's free on that one. So I totally bought it. I thought that's a lot of good stuff from a company that I've only bought a few singles from before. And it is going to be a lovely assortment, the range of their products that I get to try out for myself. So I'm kind of excited about that. It might take a couple of weeks to get here, but yeah, I thought that was a bit awesome. And they're like, while supplies last, and I'm a sucker for that kind of marketing. I'm like, oh no, I don't want to miss out, because I actually do want to get this. So yeah, pulled the trigger, got that. It'll probably be here in 2 years. I don't know how the shipping is right now. It's pretty horrifying. So, it's got little Easter bunnies and things all around it, but it's definitely not going to be here in time for that. It'll probably be here in May. I'm being slightly hyperbolic, but probably not that much. Anyway, I'm going to get my face done for the day. I'm just so excited about that. Pulled that. Oh, I hope it'll be fun. I hope it'll be fun. I don't want to do much. I haven't been wanting to wear a lot of makeup lately. I don't know. Yeah, it's funny how you get moods of things. Sometimes you get into a certain routine, and then all of a sudden you find you've broken it and you've gone into something else. And lately I've just been, sorry, I'm just grabbing that MCO. Can you, cinematic mode? Do you want it over here? There you go. MCO Beauty. Flawless Glow. I think this is the darker one. No, this is the fair one. Number 2. It's just a shiny face goop. It makes you look luminous. Sweaty without the damp, Like you've just had your entire face peeled off. Only the outer layers of skin, though, We're not looking like a skeletal model of the muscular system. Yes, this is kind of pretty much how I speak a lot of the time, and people just sit there and go, that's a very interesting take. I am indulged, and I think I'm of an age where I'm thinking, you know what, I'm just gonna be almost like Betty White back on the Golden Girls, and just roll with it. I find their confusion and polite tolerance amusing. Oh, now, what am I dealing with? I know I have a slight thing happening here under my nose. It's incredibly uncomfortable. I don't like it. I hate little pimples that pop up here. I think it's a reaction to the laser. I had the laser hair removal on Monday. It was a piece of cake. I don't know why I thought it was going to be worse than the other laser treatments that I get. It wasn't. It was nothing more than a slight puff of warm air on the face. It was like the gentlest level of laser. The most uncomfortable was when it got right close to my lip line. That felt like a slight, like if you had an elastic band that you just let go and snapped on your wrist. That was the most uncomfortable it got. And it was over super quick. So I was like, well, okay, whatever. So we'll get that. She thinks it's going to take about 6 or 8 sessions to get the hairs taken care of. That's fine. Other than the fact that I was a dum-dum, and I did go last week. I think I mentioned this before. That I went last week, but because I'd taken an antihistamine in the morning, they couldn't do the procedure because antihistamines actually increase sensitivity and cause more burning at that level of laser. I don't think it would on me, but anyway. So I had to reschedule, and then for some reason when I rescheduled in my phone, it just kept the same time. It didn't change the time from 11 to 9. So I showed up 2 hours late. Yeah, I'm that asshole. So, but they were really good. They were like, well, since we already did your consultation stuff last week, we don't have to wait the 10 to 15 minutes for you to fill in that paperwork. And we can fit you in. You just have to wait, 10 minutes. I was like, awesome. Thank you. Thank you. I was more worried that they were going to fine me, like make me pay for the session in full as a no-show. I was like, oh, shit. Don't want that, but no, I got it done. And I'm going to endeavor to read my emails and appointment reminders a lot more closely. And I still have to shave my face instead of pluck for the next how many ever weeks, which is going to be annoying. So I went and bought myself a little face razor. And the guy was really funny. He's like, there's a place called Shaver Shop in Australia, and they just sell shaving things. And they also show, like hair dryers and stuff like that. But it's, mostly, grooming above the neck and hair removal stuff. And he was trying to say, oh, well, I don't have any of the lady styles. And I said, I don't care. You can show me a man's one instead. It doesn't have to be pink, or anything like that. And he's like, oh, well, okay. So he showed me this one that's got, different heads on it. And it's just hold on, I'll go grab it. There you go. It's called Transform You. We're going to be transformed, but it's that type of thing. And yeah, just little push button, USB charge, just get in there. It's just like a little single-headed thing. It's all I need. And you can take this off, and it's got things for, the nose hair. I don't have ear hair, but you can get all those other little bits. It'd probably be fine for armpits and bikini areas and all that stuff too. But I think he was almost embarrassed to suggest it at first. Like, well, you could try a man's product, because I told him up front that it was for lady whiskers and that I need something that's going to be good for that. I felt bad for him because he was just like, oh, don't want to. And I'm like, look, we're just being honest about shit right here. I don't know what color I'm going to put on my face today. I'm kind of just into doing, one good base color and then a shimmer on the top without doing anything too extravagant and ooh-chee-chee. I don't want to put contacts in today. Yeah, I don't know. I saw that eyeliner and I thought I want to work around this. So sometimes you just got to pick a theme and go with it. So faces doing a thing that faces do. What will that look nice with? I think a nice deep brown as a contrast. So I've got a couple of slightly soiled brown brushes because I did a brown look yesterday. I didn't record it. That was all right. I had blue contacts in that were kind of a greeny blue, and I did a ochre yellow eye, and it's like I had the contacts in, they looked okay. As soon as I put that ochre color on, they looked so much stronger. So I'll have to copy that look again. But it's amazing. I love having the colored contacts and then playing with color around. I have the wrong side of the brush. Playing with color around to bring that out. And it just widens my palette, my makeup palettes, you know, so I don't have to stick to the same kinds of things, because these are the eyes that I was born with, you know, I have brown eyes. Not every eyeshadow look is gonna go the best, but you know, you put your different colored contacts in and you realize, well, I can do different things if I've got green eyes or blue eyes or purple eyes or gray eyes. I actually quite like a lot of the gray contacts I have. That soft washed out blue. Oh, what am I using? Jules. Tones of Turd. This is the palette I used yesterday. It was on my desk, so I thought, screw it, I'll use it again. Yesterday, I was using this kind of ochre color, which is number 2, it's called, in the Turd palette. Today, I'm using that one, which is Skid Mac. So I'm just popping that one on today. I'm just putting the dark brown all over. Just gonna get a liner brush in the same shade, that Log Jam, and just do the outer third. I've already had a couple of April Fool's emails. In fact, I was worried that the Odin's Eye one was a joke. Although for them it says that it launched on the 31st of March, which was, you know, not April Fool's. But because we're a day ahead. I'm not sure, so maybe I'll get a whole bunch more tomorrow. But like Baker's Delight, which is just a bakery and pastry place here, they sent one out that said they've got a new GPS tracker on their hot cross buns. Okay. All right, I'm gonna get my eyeliner. These are from ColourPop. I don't know what the colors are on these anymore, because they just disappear within a few uses. But it's this like Moroccan tile blue. It's a really vibrant, shimmery one. It's like a purple blue. I love this color. So just tight lining on the upper and lower. Oh, and I blinked. Fine. I was gonna line on there anyway. This is fine. You can make a mess of it. We're gonna get the brushes in. We're gonna blend it. We're gonna put something else around it. It's all fine. I love this color. And it kind of brings out the green in my eye. I have a muddy brown eye, but it's got green in there. So I will keep that close because I will probably use it again. I'll get in with a small, tight, smudgy brush. This one is from Odin's Eye. That was the other thing they said in their mystery box will have no brushes to make up the numbers. They're all just full-size things. I was like, that was a free one that I got with my last order, and it's been a nice little brush. I'm just gonna blend that up. I need a fluffier brush. So I'll just keep that all fairly close down into the lid, not too high up in the crease. And then when I do my blush, I'll just put a little bit of the blush on the top. A slightly lighter brown just to blend out that top bit. So I'll pop back in here. I'll just use this one called Crop Dust. It does look dirty, I agree. This is too easy to use. It's too easy. It's too easy to use a lot. But I really like it. All right, let's get a thick, dense, more stubbier brush. Just blend off the top of it. Okie doke. Now, did I just say that I wasn't going to use a ton of colors, but I am going to just pop in. I just like this ColourPop Garden Variety palette because it's got this very light bone color. I tend to just pop in here for that color 9 times out of 10. And that one just goes nice under the crease. I know that looks gross. Shut up. I'm gonna fix it. Calm down. You know, and most of this is you put it down and then you wipe it back off again. Okay? It's like Vegemite on your toast. You spread it on and then you scrape it back off. And then it's perfect. I had a very interesting customer encounter yesterday. If you work in customer service, you are at some point going to come up against somebody with a mental illness. It's when you realize what's happening in the conversation, that the person you're talking to is not completely in the realm of reality. I find that I don't want to thoroughly engage them in that false reality. I simply, I listen quietly and slowly maneuver them towards the door. Because you don't know, you just don't know where they're at, what they're doing, and at some point they could become a threat. It's happened. So, this lady, I was fairly confident that she wasn't a threat. And, we were talking about her cat and how, she's getting her cat back. And she wanted a couple of things for it, and she was just pricing things. She stops me at one point. She goes, "You do realize I'm famous, right?" I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. No." I wasn't born and raised here in Australia. She was Australian. So I'm not very savvy on famous, celebrity things. And she's telling me, I need to Google this person, and I would find everything out about it, and her history would come up. And she was okay. Like, she wasn't mad that I didn't know who she was. She can hear the accent. I think she was okay about it. And she's like, "Oh, I love Americans. Americans are great. Thank you." Not too many people think that today, but, And anyway, that was fine. And I just thought, going on with the conversation. And then she starts telling me how she's in a relationship with Dr. Chris Brown, who is a TV vet here in Australia, and that he has a video camera implant in his head, and it allows him to telepathically communicate with her, and she can use her mind and ask him questions and get answers. And she likes to go into pet shops and ask people whether they know him and like him, and she reports back to him because he's very concerned that everybody understands and knows who he is. At that point, I was like, okay, all right, we've veered off the path a bit, and I'm just gonna not encourage this conversation if I can. So there's kind of like, she's kind of like latched on to this person who's politely listening because it's my job. And I had to, she was like closing her eyes trying to have a conversation with Chris Brown. I saw my coworker and I'm just like, "Help me." I'm just mouthing, "Help me. I have to go." and he's like, "Hey, I think the boss wanted to have that meeting with you. Are you free? Is everything, can I take over or anything?" And I was just like, "Oh, I'm really sorry. I have to leave. And, I hope everything works out for you with your cat and stuff, And I'm just like, at this point, just maneuvering myself. So I'm kind of like guiding her to the door. And she left quietly with no drama, but she would have kept me there for a long time. You just have to, be as kind and support, and understanding, but not, I try not to indulge the fantasy that they've concocted. That's where my boundary is. They can feel safe to talk to me about their cat, but that becomes an extra. And it's like with any person, not even just somebody with mental illness. If somebody comes in and they start telling you about what a terrible husband they have, that's that's a conversation beyond the scope of what my job is. And I don't know how hairdressers do it. They seem, or bartenders, where they seem to be, the confessionals. But I don't like to have that part. I keep it topical to pet care as much as I can, and when they go off onto tangents like that, I try and steer it back to the animals. Had another weird moment the other day with one of my supervisors. Got into a very animated conversation with somebody else about the cost of everything and how soon we're not going to be able to afford food, and it's going to be like going back into lockdown and COVID times, and people are stockpiling toilet paper and blah, blah, blah. And he goes, yep, at some point we're going to be eating our neighbors. And I'm like, excuse me? And he goes, yep, won't be able to afford food. We're all going to just turn into cannibals, and, we'll have to eat the children first. I am exiting this conversation. I have work to do. I was out, but no, they kept going. They were saying, hey, you can't grow vegetables in the wintertime as easily, and your vegan friend is not gonna, oh gosh, it's like, just don't engage, don't encourage, don't, not the time or the place. No, yeah, odd, just odd. But this is retail. This is what happens. You come up across the weird side of some folk. Sorry, that's just the Sky High mascara. And if I've forgotten to mention what I've used, I will certainly put it in a little bubble over the top. This is a very basic look, isn't it? Yep, it's just an eyeliner and an eyeshadow. And I'm just gonna get, that's the Tattoo Brow in Taupe. I quite like this one. It's so subtle for me. The gray ones do, I think, darken my brows a lot more. Kind of more the darker toning in my hair, which is all right. House Labs concealer number 11. Just put a little dot in there. Dot. I'm not gonna bother because it's all rough, crusty looking shit. Just use that one. That'll do for getting in here. Just use that to try and tidy up the eye a little bit. Yeah, a little bit brighter. Just bring it up in here. I know it's weird because I always brighten this bit and other people use contour. And I always feel it brightens my eye to lighten this part that connects up to the brow. So I've been doing it wrong all these years. I don't have particularly deep set eyes, but I still feel like I want that to be lighter. I don't know what the theory is there. Just use that to lightly blend those two shades together, that dark brown and that light color, so it's not so stark. There, I did my mascara. I think I'm done. That's that Tear lip tints. I quite like these. They're a nice size. That's just a light, warm coral. I don't want anything too red because it'll just highlight that being so red. I think that'll be me. I think I'm done. That's my mood today. So yeah, wish me luck that I will be free from the telepaths today. No more extraneous conversations. That would do well. I've just got today and tomorrow to get through. I've got a day off. And I'm working on Saturday. Then I've got 2 days off. Haha. So I'll I'll have a lot more time to do some editing and other stuff. And yeah, cool, whatever. I'll see y'all later. That's my morning. Sussed. I'm gonna make a lunch. Healthy lunches. I always make a healthy lunch. I don't know. There's something missing. I know. You're probably saying it as well. There's something missing. But I think I'm just gonna let it go. Part of me wants to put a green in here. I just don't know where I'd put it. I have that, which is from the same ColourPop group as that one. No. Yeah? No. Okay, I'm out of here. See you all later. Have a nice day. Happy April Fool's Day. Don't be taken for a fool. See you again. Bye. What is that? That's cinematic. Oh, look at that. It blurs the background so you can't see what an absolute slob I am. That's exciting. Cool. All right. Let's just tilt you up a little. Don't go that way. Go that way. Are you crooked? I think you're all right.